Good evening, Pisces. Welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. What I'd like to do for you today is just give you some general advice as it relates to your relationship. And this advice, Pisces, is going to be available or valid until the end of this month, okay? I'm going to be following up with another posting for you guys, but I like to just get you started with this one, okay? And so to save down on some time, Pisces, I've already shuffled the deck. And the cards are illustrated as we see here, okay? So prior to actually getting into your reading, I'd just like to make a few general observations here. Just looking at your predominant energy here, it looks like that there's a predominant of wands there. So that tells me, Pisces, that there is very much passion or chemistry, drive or direction in this situation as it relates to your romance situation. You know, you regard the situation as a challenge or perhaps an adventure. You know, and situations are primarily in the realm of thought or in the first stages of development. And Pisces, you know, just by looking at this spread again, since there are no pentacles, you know, your situation might, however, be a bit unstable. You know, it might also indicate perhaps unemployment, poverty, or maybe missing material goods. Okay? Now, just to examine your numerical theme here after adding up all the numbers, I've arrived at the number of 7. And with the number of 7, Pisces, this number shows success, retreat. It's a soul number. It shows, you know, victories concerning ideas or really personal ambitions or soul unfoldment, you know. And if I were to equate that card to the tarot, it would actually be the Chariot. So the quintessence would therefore suggest to you, or the card's conclusive advice with regards to your situation, is really not to hesitate any longer. Instead, start out immediately and take the matter into your hands and kind of make things happen for you. Okay? Let's move right along and just examine a few elementary dignitaries here. Okay, we have the Page of Cups here. And we have that, if we were to combine that with the High Priestess, because that's water to water. So this combination has somewhat a neutral effect, Pisces, because water mixed with itself kind of highlights emotional sensitivity. And if this emotional sensitivity is positive, Pisces, much joy, love, fun, and creativity can certainly come from this union. However, if the emotions are low, then excessive fantasy or depression could also result, Pisces. Okay? Let's then go move along and combine the High Priestess along with the Four of Swords, and that would be water to air. So, Pisces, when air is combined with water, these two elements have a tendency to kind of strengthen one another, and they are both wet, you know. The intellectual characteristics of air, Pisces, mingle with the emotional sensitivity of water, kind of tend to kind of produce creative ideas. You know, a touch of water kind of mixed with air can kind of form a fine mist, which creates a sense of refreshing coolness on a warm day, you know. However, you know, if that same water becomes too heavy, Pisces, the mist will give way to, you know, heavy humidity or even showers. So for this reason, it is essential that just the right amount of water be mingled with air to kind of ensure a positive outcome. Okay, let's look at another here. We have the Four of Swords here. All right, and we were to combine that with the Ten of Wands, so that's air to fire. So the element of air tends to kind of strengthen fire, you know, because the creative energy, Pisces, of fire coupled with the mental agility of air, it brings, you know, much mental creation in the form of visions and ideas. You know, so when a touch of air is really kind of blown onto a burning, you know, ember, you know, the flame will intensify and strengthen, you know. However, you know, if a huge gust of air overpowers the same ember, it will extinguish the flame, correct? So therefore, it is always necessary to kind of temper air and fire so that these two elements can enhance each other. We're going to look at one more element, and then we're going to get right along into your reading. We have the Ten of Wands, and we combine that to the Seven of Wands. Pisces, that's fire to fire. So fire coupled with fire has a neutral effect on most occasions. And when the element of fire, you know, really are combined, this indicates that much energy is kind of put forth into business matters. And although fire, when combined with itself, is said to really be beneficial, keep in mind that too much fire can become explosive. So for this reason, it is really essential to kind of properly use the vast amount of energy inherent, Pisces, in the suit of wands, or perhaps even the element of fire. All right, so let's get right on into your reading. Let's start with the bottom card here. We have the Four of Cups falling there. So Pisces, with that card, the moon is in Cancer. Or, it could easily represent a Pisces or a Scorpio, but usually the moon is in Cancer. But as for your purposes, it could be a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio that you have some type of concern for. But this card, Pisces, kind of symbolizes events and experiences that might have made us very happy a moment ago, but then suddenly turn around in our perception and now only make us irritable and discontent. It can indicate defiance just as well as oppressive ill humor. Simultaneously, Pisces, this card warns us that we might be kind of shrugging off or even destroying something because of a bad mood or out of peevishness, and thereby kind of overlooking a good opportunity that is probably within reach. Pisces, this card therefore says that you feel deprived, dissatisfied, and disillusioned because the things you wanted out of life have brought you nothing but unhappiness, suffering, grief, or sorrow. You'll be tired of the world and its hardship and will be at a loss when it comes to dealing with your life because nothing you do seems to work, or failure is kind of met at every turn. Pisces, you'll want your lover and won't be able to stop wanting, and you'll wonder if there's a chance that you'll get back together. You'll feel like a lost soul fighting a lost cause, and because of this, Pisces, you're going to be unable to kind of find fulfillment on any realm. So this card therefore says, Pisces, take your mind off your lover or the problem and kind of do something else. See to your needs first. Okay? Let's move right along and look at the central issue in this reading, or what your reading is, primarily about. Okay? We have the Page of Cups there. So the Page of Cups certainly denotes a water sign, Pisces. It could be another Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. And Pisces, remember that pages stand for opportunities that offer themselves to an individual and that come from the external world. With that said, this page has a very beneficial effect, for he feels or sells. He brings with him different kinds of positive stimulus, and he's welcoming, he's very supportive, and he make peace offers, or even a declaration of love, So Pisces, this card says that you might receive a love letter, or might there even be an email in which someone proposes to you? In any case, Pisces, your relationship, it looks like it's receiving a positive stimulus and heartfelt support from others. Again, this could be an invitation or an interesting offer, or perhaps, Pisces, a gesture that helps you to soothe emotional unrest. Additionally, you're going to want things to come together, Pisces, be it in business, health, love, or either mind, body, and soul, and you are anxious for the future to take shape. You are also anxious about how things are going to turn out in the future, but hope they will. However, Pisces, it looks like involvement with this person, perhaps, that you would want to be with, might be a bit slower than what you would want it to be. And I feel that you're going to feel very impressionable or sensitive, and you're going to be struggling to assert yourself. So Pisces, let's move right along and look at, what really moves you internally. Okay? And the card that falls in that position is the High Priestess. Okay? So Pisces, the High Priestess refers to a Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces. Okay? I'll just use it in that frame. But usually I see it as a Cancer. But I'm going to go on and go on and also say Scorpio and Pisces too. And as we have been going and progressing throughout this reading, you see that you have a lot of water type elements here in your reading, and perhaps you may be dealing with a lot of water type temperaments around you, or have that in their inherent in their chart. So with the High Priestess, Pisces, this card kind of symbolizes the meditative, intuitive forces and extraordinary sensitivity. She stands for confidence in the inner voice and preparedness to kind of receive impulses and let oneself be led by them. Above all, Pisces, she embodies the art of allowing things to really happen. The patience and the wisdom of the right moment. So with that said, Pisces, you are prepared to open yourself and experience a deep closeness. However, you do not want to rush into anything, but really prefer to wait for an external stimulus or simply for the right moment. Therefore, I feel that you're going to be putting love or the one you love out of your thoughts in order, Pisces, to avoid emotional entanglements or perhaps the pangs of desire. You're going to be cold towards those who are insinuating or who really operate unethically or under false pretenses. But others will provide unexpected assistance or aid, and your ideas, requests, or presentations will be well received. Okay? But I feel that you're going to be at a crossroad, and you're going to wonder if you're going to come together or split apart once and for all. But you'll have to wait before the answer will be revealed because, Pisces, only time will tell. At times, Pisces, I feel that you're going to be impatient, but for the most part, detached, withdrawn, uninvolved, or removed. And your discerning abilities, Pisces, are going to be quite acute. Okay? Let's move right along, Pisces, just to look at how your lover really sees you in this situation, okay? We have the Four of Swords that falls in that position. So with the Four of Swords, Jupiter is in Libra, okay? So I usually associated this card as being in Libra, but because it's an air sign, we can also attribute Gemini and Aquarius as well. So with this four, Pisces, it symbolizes a standstill. A forced break and involuntary inactivity such as experience, Pisces, during sickness, perhaps as a result of total exhaustion, or simply because nothing seems to work out. And although these breaks can be transformed into a kind of meditative peace, they will have a retaining aftertaste of involuntary stagnation, as they were not planned beforehand. Therefore, Pisces, with that said, your lover sees you as perhaps playing dead, and he or she feels he or she can't approach you. Perhaps some sort of external condition beyond your control, perhaps, force you into this passive behavior and thwarted airy initiative. Okay? Additionally, you might see yourself as a victim who has been pushed aside and rendered inactive. In the worst case, Pisces, you froze your feelings, but be it involuntary, for your lover. This is what this card is kind of capturing for me. So let's move on and see how, you see your lover, okay? So we have the Ten of Wands fall in this position, and with the Ten of Wands, Saturn is in Sagittarius. So this 10 stands for challenges that you, at least at this time, Pisces, feel overwhelmed by. Okay? Either you are really not up to it, or you don't know how to handle things more adeptly. Maybe the problem is simply that you take on too much because you think you have to manage everything on your own. In any event, Pisces, you see your lover as rather depressed and do not know how to kind of handle the situation at the moment. Something is really bothering him or her and could make him or her lose sight of you. See whether you cannot help or relieve some of the burden. Or are you actually the reason for your lover's difficulties, Pisces? Perhaps your expectations of your lover are not realistic. Okay? Let's move right along to card that falls. The next card is the Seven of Wands. And in this position, it's going to be more of an advice card for you guys. So with the Seven of Wands, Mars is in Leo. So Pisces, this 7 indicates that you are exposed to envy, mischief, or other forms of aggression and asks you to defend your standpoint. Okay? If you take this call seriously, your prospects are actually very good due to your favorable positioning, as we see here with this card. Therefore, Pisces, this card asks you to make your standpoint clear, fight for yourself or for your relationship. Realize how good your starting position is and that you can make things work out the way you want them to. Pisces, ignore opposition and let nothing make you veer off from your course. Pisces, straighten out your affairs and make steps towards commitment and refuse to accept less than is what is essentially right in people. Be true to yourself. In the end, Pisces, you're going to certainly triumph, and all matters are going to conclude successfully or to your satisfaction. So Pisces, this is what I have for you for right now. I'm certainly going to be posting more interesting readings for you guys. I like to certainly hear your comments. And again, with any reading, this may not resonate with everyone. But for those of you for whom this reading was meant, I hope this reading has provided you food for thought. As I said, I look forward to hearing your comments. And for those of you who would like to have a more personal reading with me, you can certainly email me at wat61073@gmail.com. And for those Pisces who have yet to subscribe, please take a moment to just go down and just press the subscription button. Okay? I look forward to hearing your comments and also look forward to posting more interesting readings. Thanks a lot and enjoy your evening.